When you're winning, everybody love you. You're the talk of the town. You're the toast for everybody when you come into the room. Everybody want to be around what you got going on and want to just be a part of just that infectious energy that's going on with you and your program. When you lose, you got everybody around the world want to talk about you. They talking about how there's so much chaos and just uncanny type situations that's going on that people are trying to figure out, like, what in the hell is going on with this program? Well, guys, I gotta be honest with you. I took a look at something here, that kind of threw me off. Looking at the bowl play right now, there's a particular team that their bowl output matched something similar to something I saw previously. We're gonna talk about it right after this. Y'all already know this is another episode of Blow the Whistle with your host, Coach Walker. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can get all upcoming videos. Listen, get your drinks, get whatever it is that you need to get yourself comfortable so you can sit down and enjoy what I'm about to give you here on this first day of the year. Yes, it is January 1st. And we're going to give you content on Tomorrow Sports Network as well as Blow the Whistle with your host, Coach Walker. So y'all make sure y'all tune in, tap in, tell a friend, tell everybody to come on in because we about to have us a good time. Because guess what? We're going to talk about football. We're going to keep it football. We're not going to get into the, let's see, I ain't going for the kneecaps right now. I might go for the kneecaps later on, but I don't want the kneecaps right now. I'm just going to give y'all what I'm seeing right here just to let you know, because I got a couple of more episodes that I'm going to give y'all as far as what's going on with these bowl games. That's got me a little up in the air as far as like what are these guys doing? Does it really matter if they participate or not? Or should they just go ahead and say, you know what? I'm going to sit down and relax. Yeah, I got to have that conversation. And also we got to talk about this daggone, this transfer portal. Oh my God, I've seen a couple of kids that I know personally that then jumped in this thing. I'm like, guys, y'all didn't think. Y'all did not think about what you need to do. So strap on in. Let's get ready for this thing because I know y'all like, Coach, what the heck you got going on? Listen, I'm going to say that for Tomorrow Sports Network. I'm going to put that over there so that I can go ahead and get this lady her flowers. Coach had some serious things going on past week with the missus. Had to make sure she's straight. Still trying to get stuff situated. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to press forward and do what we got to do to make sure all of that is happening. So that's why you guys didn't see me. I'm just giving you a little snippet as far as what's going on. I'm not going to get into no details, nothing like that, because some folks might care while other folks might not care. And I don't need myself getting thrown around out here on social media like some of these other folks have been done over the past couple of weeks. I'm cool on all that. We just going to keep it sports and entertainment. We just going to entertain and have a good time. Y'all cool with that? Well, let's rock and roll then. Well, I'm sitting here. I'm looking at the first game out the chute. I got to give it up to the fellas over there in Boulder. I got to give them their props. I got to give them their props. They had a phenomenal season. They went with a 9-3. No one expected them to turn the season around. Everybody was expecting them to come out there and lay an egg and just look, come out there flat all season long, which that was something that they didn't do. Coach Prime was able to get the athletes together as far as galvanizing the troops, so to speak, so that they can come out here and compete and do some things that was going to shock the world. Travis Hunter became the Heisman Trophy winner. You had Shedeur Sanders with the high percentage of throwing pass completion percentage, as well as the 36 touchdowns that he threw for this season. But when it came down to looking at how things are going to pan out for them to play in the bowl game, a lot of folks was expecting a lot more from them than what they got out of the BYU game. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I told some folks originally off the rip that I thought Colorado was going to beat them because I did not think BYU had the speed to keep up with the Colorado receivers. I thought they were going to have them a little bit off balance as far as with the offense that they were going to run. I felt that they were going to, just keep BYU guessing out there on the field. And not only that, BYU was they stumped when it came to against a rushing attack. I think they was they allowed over 100 yards rushing per game. And I'm sitting here like, okay, well, guess what? Colorado can go ahead and use that to their advantage to get off in this game, to set up the pass that's going to really have them trying to figure out what is it Shedeur Sanders and company is going to look to do out there on the field. It didn't happen that way. And oddly enough, when the game started, it made you wonder, like, what in the hell is going on with this team? Because there's nowhere in the world they come out here looking like this. I mean, hell, they rolled in. Listen, they came into San Antonio on a Rolls Royce plane. I'm like, they was on a custom plane. So y'all already know Coach Prime gonna tell you, if I give you something, he expects something back. And what he expected back wasn't what they gave, because what they gave back to Coach Prime was, hey, belt the ass. And I think the Colorado folks helped BYU put belt the ass to their head coach in this game, because I'm just like, the offensive line couldn't block. I mean, I get it. Who is that? The offensive line coaches moved on and went to Mississippi State. We're gonna talk about that too. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all right now before y'all get to talking crazy like Coach. Why are you talking about them? You don't really never talk about them on Blow the Whistle. We're gonna talk about everything. Tomorrow Sports Network, I'm gonna keep that strictly HBCU. Blow the Whistle, we talk about everything. When I do a Blow the Whistle segment, I am talking about everything. So if you're new, I want you to understand that. If you've made it this far into the video, I want you to understand I'm talking about everything on Blow the Whistle, okay? So get ready for it. Don't get upset, but it's hey, listen, it's gonna hit you where it hurts. That's all I'm gonna tell you, because you know, when I sat and when I looked at this, I'm like, wait a minute, Colorado's down 20-0 in this game. I mean, 20-0 in this game. And I'm like, whoa, what the hell's going on here? They had no answer for anything. I mean, it was almost like 2021 all over again. I had to do it. I got to share this with y'all. When Jackson State played head coach Buddy Pugh, that was right after Deion Sanders had the surgery on his foot. He comes into the Mercedes-Benz downtown Atlanta, the house that he said the house that Prime built. And, you know, he said he's going to walk. He showed him at the end he was able to walk after they took that 31-10 butt whooping. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this game. I'm looking at this game, this BYU versus Colorado game. And then I'm looking back at the 31-10 ass whooping that they took against South Carolina State. As Kobe liked to say over Blitz City podcast, belt the ass. I'm just like, listen, were they prepared? I have to ask that question. Were they prepared? Honestly, truly, looking at, was it Brown? I want to make sure I get the young man. Is it Tyler Brown? I'm just going to say Brown. You got Brown at a tackle. Brown normally plays at a guard, okay? Why was he on the outside? I get the interchangeable. You want athletes out there that you can, you know, put and move wherever it is you want to put them so that they can be successful on the field, or, you know, next man up type mentality, because you'd already flipped him around from offense to defense and you figure, you know, he'll be able to play out there. He can't play at no tackle. I'm just going to be honest with you. He cannot. And I'm hoping that this young man is not, his eligibility is gone. Because if his eligibility is up, guess what? That was a disservice to him to even put him out there like that. That's bad business. But I'll say this. Looking at the other tackle on the team, he's considered an All-American. He got to work on his footwork. Footwork is terrible. I'm just going to be honest with you. I mean, listen, this is not no beatdown session. This is just being real with you. There hasn't been one damn offensive lineman that has gotten drafted on any team that Shedeur Sanders has been the quarterback of. And all of this talk about, oh, the offensive line is going to be great this season. Oh, we got everything together. We got, you know, this, that, and the third going on. Look, right now, I'm looking at 39 sacks. And I'm trying to figure out if that's with the 4 that BYU got against them in the game. This man was sacked 52 times last season, 39 and counting this season, and 55 in 2 seasons at Jackson State. I get it. I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL that get sacked some 30-something times. I think one quarterback got sacked, 40 times this season already. But I'm just trying to understand, like, listen, when there's opportunity to make a play and we want to choose and hold on to the ball and make jump plays down the field, Travis Hunter going to do whatever he got to do to make sure he gets himself open. I mean, it's kind of like the kid in the North Carolina Central game. What's the young man named Kevin Coleman? I'm trying to figure out where's that young man at. That young man did everything he could to get loose in that game. He had 7 receptions for 137 yards and 1 touchdown. That's just like in the game for the game with BYU. Travis Hunter had 4 receptions for 106 yards, 1 touchdown pass. I'm like, listen, Colorado couldn't find a rushing attack all season long. I don't know if that's because the quarterback wanted to air the ball out, because he wanted to keep his name in the conversation as far as being one of the top passers in college football, or what. I mean, Michael Wells rushed the ball 5 times, 25 yards. I'm trying to understand, where's Gus Dave at? Why wasn't he toting that rock a little bit more than everybody else? I figured that was going to be the bell cow that's going to get out there and start putting that work on folks. This was his opportunity to do it, and unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. But back to where I'm going with this whole situation as far as with the South Carolina State versus Jackson State when Coach Prime was the head coach, and now the BYU versus Colorado, as well as Coach Prime being the head coach over there. You came into this thing arrogant and cocky like usual, which is nothing wrong with that. I play that way. That was the way that I played. I came into games with an arrogance about myself because I wanted to let you know that, listen, I'm coming in here to whoop your ass for 60 minutes. And I'm not backing down. I'm not biting my tongue. I'm not moving. You're not doing none of that. I'm gonna give you this work for 60 daggone minutes. And majority of the time, I went out there, I did my job. Like I said, majority of the time, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, 100% of the time I went out there, I did damage. No, I did work. No, I'm not saying that. There was times where in them trenches, they out-schemed my behind, making sure to say, okay, we know what you like to do. We're going to force you to do something different. And then when I try to do the different things and get off, guess what? Say, okay, well, he's able to make a move. He's able to adjust to do X, Y, and Z to get off and still raise a little havoc. Let's do this. And guess what they started doing? They started throwing different things at me. They'd throw a double team. They might even throw a triple team, which would be a chip, and then go up the field to keep me off balance, making sure I wasn't able to get back there and do what I need to do. And that's fine. But in this game, y'all had no answer for nothing. Coach Buddy Pugh with South Carolina State, with all of the chaos. It's funny because Coach Buddy Pugh was sitting it's funny. This reminds me of the post-game conference. Coach Prime was sitting there with Cameron Silman Craig and Shedeur talking about the BYU game. And you're sitting there now, you don't have no sunglasses on, you don't have no hat on. Post-game, pre-game, you got the hat on, you got the glasses on, the whole Coach Prime facade is going on. After that belt to ass, you ain't got none of that on. Same thing happened with South Carolina State. Funny, it's like Coach Buddy Pugh made a comment. He said, my mom always told me when I come in the building, always take my hat and my glasses off. Take my hat and my sunglasses off. And after that game was over with, it was like, wait a minute. And I mean, it's like, are you preparing these athletes to get out here on the field? Do you have them in the right positions as far as what needs to be done? Because it seems like this is the same scenario that went on the very first bowl game that you ever coached, where you got out there, all of a sudden you decide you want to change up everything as far as how, the things that you did, the things that the team did all season long. All of a sudden now it's like, hey, let's experiment. Let's change up and do something different. There's a few folks online that feel that the playbook that was used in this game was not the playbook of the offensive coordinator, which I'm going to say, you know what? It was. The playbook didn't change this time. It wasn't any, meeny, miny, mo, let's pick a play like they did in South Carolina, in the South Carolina State game. If I'm wrong, Jackson State folks, please let me know. But all I'm simply saying is that looking at the output, looking at what was going on, I'm going to be real with you. And I'm gonna save that part of what I'm going to say. I want to save it for the other video, the other show that I got for you guys. But just looking at Shedeur Sanders' stats, and y'all gonna hear me talk about this again a little bit more in depth. Looking at Shedeur Sanders' stats for the South Carolina State game and the BYU game. South Carolina State, Shedeur Sanders threw the ball 36 times, complete 16 for 175 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. BYU game, 16 completions on 23 attempts for 208 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Don't them damn stats mirror one another? I'm just being honest with you. Them stats look mighty damn familiar, don't they? And the reason why I say this is because I'm looking at the play. I don't know if Shedeur was shook up out there on the field or there was something else going on that we didn't know. I did hear there was some partying going on, allegedly. I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, I know for certain. I got concrete evidence. I got concrete evidence that they was out there getting their boogie on. I don't know none of that. But what I do know is they got their ass whooped. They got their ass whooped in this game, just like they got their ass whooped in this first game, in their first bowl game. And not only that, but then when you look at the North Carolina Central game, which, he played lights out in this game. That was the game Kevin Coleman had 7 receptions for 137 yards. You had a 1,000-yard rusher on your team, and Savion Wilkerson, who rushed the ball 15 times for 52 yards. And then for Shedeur himself, he threw the ball 40 times, completing 30 for 349 yards for a touchdown. And then, but you had a quarterback on the other side, Davius Richard, that stayed within the system. They stayed within the system. And oddly enough, yeah, it was one play away that Jackson should have walked away with that championship, which they didn't. But oddly enough, there were some things in that game as far as schematically on the defensive side as well as the offensive side where they just did not make plays when they needed to. And that's what happened with this Colorado BYU game. I'm like, only one game that I can honestly say that the team was somewhat prepared, somewhat ready to get after and make it happen was the North Carolina Central game, which is a game that they lost, just on a miscue. But honestly, truly, at the end of the day, Coach Prime is 0-3 in bowl games. Coach Prime's record against top 25 teams is 1-6. He got an overall coaching record of 40-18. A lot of front running going on. But then when it counts, that's when your draws get snatched off. And oddly enough, like he always tell you, when I give you something, I expect something back. And I guess because y'all ain't giving back, I'm trying to find out, did y'all come home coach? Or did y'all go back on the Rolls Royce plane? Help me understand what's going on, because this thing here doesn't make sense. Man, I bet y'all wish y'all have took them daggone swag bags now instead of doing this that plane ride. Because I'm like, this is crazy, man. And from my understanding, there's a lot of, like I said, as far as like the chaos going on in the background. You got Coach Dancy and was it Phil Bolt? If I mispronounced his name incorrectly, please forgive me. The offensive line coach, both of those guys going to Mississippi State. Understood. They want to get elevated. And everybody talk about those two coaches. Let's talk about the offensive line coach, Mr. McChesney. Oh, I like that guy. That guy's fiery. They got to find an offensive line coach as well as a defensive end coach right now, and I think that dude might be a good one, because I can kind of see them bringing Warren Sapp in as the defensive end coach, because they already got defensive lineman coach. They can bring Warren Sapp in as defensive end coach, let him go to work, and get that just nastiness for the trenches. I'm going to be real with you. Coach Prime's teams have been finesse teams for the longest. He has not had a team that just got in there and been gritty, ready to dig in and just bust your ass, letting you know, hey, look, we got these dogs up front on the line of scrimmage that's going to come out here and hunt. We're going to open up these lanes to allow the running backs to do what they need to do. We're going to block until the whistle blows, making sure that our quarterback is sitting back there comfortable in the pocket. Y'all saw what Sam Darnold did this past weekend for the Minnesota Vikings. That's the type of blocking I'm talking about. Not a whole bunch of damn linemen standing around looking at each other like, hey, did you get him? Who gonna get him this time? I thought you gonna get him. No, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna do this thing until the whistle is blown. That means the play is made and everybody's on the same string. We're on the same string together like a band of bandits holding on to one another, make sure we need to do what we need to do. And this is why I said they got to find somebody that has a fiery type attitude that's going to get out there and get after it. Now, the part about I was talking about how the bull crap begins to surface, the stuff with Travis Hunter, that we push that to the side. We're going to get to the coaching stuff, because right now they're talking about Mr. McChesney was saying that there's some BS going on in the back end. And, because they're trying to figure out what's going on. I mean, look, I ain't here to count nobody's pockets as far as what's going on. There's a lot of chaos and turmoil going on as far as possible alleged NIL issues. We're going to see how that goes, how that turns out. I don't want to touch that because there's not much information out there on that, so we're going to leave that where it is. But I will say this. Y'all got to find some coaches that are going to come in there and drop their cojones in the sand and let you know, hey, look, we're not doing it that way. We're going to come out here, we're going to ball out like this. Shedeur Sanders is gone. So my question is, now that he's gone, hopefully the climate can change as far as with how, the positions out there on the field are going to be coached when it comes to playing this game itself. And we're gonna find out what's really going on. Matter of fact, we're going to find out, is the head man really going to stay or is he going to go? Because you got to keep that in mind as well. I mean, he don't really have much to to hold on to as far as we're trying to coach. I mean, he say he want to plant his flag on one of the mountains back there. He want his face up on one of the mountains back there. Well, guess what? You got to win. You got to win the big game. And right now, you're 0-3. You're 0-3 in bowl games. And when it comes down to getting the job done to get to where you need to go, always find a way to come up short. And I'm starting to wonder, is this a thing that we just do continuously, or or are these teams really coming out here beating you down, just taking it to you to where, they force you to submit? I'm just trying to understand what's going on, because there's a lot of things that mirror one another as far as, what I've seen over the past couple of seasons as far as with this team. And the first thing that I saw was that glaring game as far as between BYU and Colorado, and then you compare that one to the first game that the first bowl game that Coach Prime played in, which was the Celebration Bowl against South Carolina State, and the crap mirror one another. I mean, it was almost like the routes the receivers were running. They should have been like a 7-yard in the cross, in which they needed 5 yards to get a first down. 7 yards in the cross, they're running the damn route 3 yards instead, or they running the route 5 yards instead. I mean, it was just like that tenacity, that ferociousness, everything that they needed for them to get out there and be them wasn't there. The only guy out there in that field really was playing was Travis Hunter. I mean, if you put 11 of him out there on the field, that's including the quarterback, I think they might have won this game. But oddly enough, it didn't go down that way. And we're going to see how all of this plays out when it comes to this damn NFL draft. This is gonna be interesting. I'm just gonna be honest with you. All of this is gonna be interesting to watch, to see how this takes place. But guys, Coach gonna go ahead and get up out of here. This is another episode of Blow the Whistle. Happy New Year to you. I hope everybody is having a great time. I hope your year started off for you in the manner what you wanted it to. Guys, guess what? We're gonna keep on rising to the top. Coach is gonna be 5 years in the game, entertaining y'all. So, guys, y'all make sure y'all tell your friends, come on in. Don't stop, because we ain't going to stop. We're going to keep on going. But, guys, like I always say, until next time, be the one and lead.